Dajahao, my name is Garrick, and welcome back to Taiwan, Laowai. It is officially our 6th day in Taichung, and I'm not gonna lie, it's gone off to a pretty weird start. First, I'm woken up early by like some sort of fire alarm that blares in my hotel building, and nobody knows where it is, nobody can smell a fire. I think somebody just was like lighting up a cigarette in a place they shouldn't have. So after like a few minutes of confusion, everybody calms down, everybody goes back inside when suddenly, earthquake! Yeah, just not even an hour after that, there was an earthquake and everything starts going rumble, 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 rumble. It's not a big earthquake, thankfully. It was just like 30 seconds of shaking, nothing fell down, nothing broke, but it was still a little like, whoa! Not exactly the most promising start to the day. And maybe it's because of that, or maybe it's just been how hectic the rest of my days here have been, but I'm feeling a little worn down at the moment. This trip has been a lot. It's been fun, but it's been a lot. I actually recorded bits and pieces of another video earlier, but I was feeling sort of lethargic and out of it, and I don't think they coalesced well into like a coherent video. Clearly, today is a day I need to take it easy. And luckily, that's what art museums are best for. That's right, baby, we are back at the Taichung Art Museum. It was closed for Lunar New Year when we first came, but if the sign on the door is any indication, it should be open today. So our goal is just to relax at the art museum, enjoy the inside, see some pretty art, then head back and relax the hell out of the rest of the day. We're gonna be very lazy, and that's fine, because we have earned it. First things first, though, a quick rundown on the other things I did that were gonna be another video before I decided they weren't good enough. First, I went back to the Literature Museum and explored that plaza a little more. Unfortunately, the buildings were still closed, so I imagine once it gets out of the holiday season, it might be a little easier to figure out what's going on inside there. Still very pretty, though, so here's a little bit of footage of what that looked like. Boop.
Afro, whoa.
After that, I went back to the Shiakusho building, which you might remember I mistook for another building and thus didn't think I could actually get in it way back in the day. I say way back in the day, it was like 2 days ago, 3 days ago, something like that. Point is, we actually did our due diligence and got inside this time, and it seems like it's actually still in use as Taichung City Hall, as well as like a little, visitor center. There's a cafe, there's a gift shop. It's a really fun little environment where you can walk around, see all the boutiques and crafts and stuff, and then sit down and grab a snack and a drink. So here is some footage of me doing exactly that. This is delightful. It's like a little cafe mixed with a gift shop. You can walk around, see all the boutiques and little tchotchkes and cups and stuff, and then order something to eat and a drink. So it seems like this building does actually still have active use in the government as like the city hall. There are ways to go deeper inside, to go up to second floors, stuff like that, but it seems like they're all in pretty official use right now. Also, why does the light change on my face whenever I turn it like that? That's so weird. Well, hello, delicious lemon tart. I didn't think you were coming with this much whipped cream. And some sparkling berry juice, of course. Once again, hoping my memories of my grandma's lemon meringue pie do not let me down here. Nostalgia. I really love those flavors. They're like childhood to me. It's kind of funny because you got the crispy meringue on top and then the whipped cream on the side, so it's cream on top of cream. Not that I'm complaining. As for this sparkling fruit juice, I love that there's just a stick of gummy bears in there for some reason. Very refreshing. Definitely very passion fruit forward, as you can probably tell by the seeds in there. It's very tart, very puckery, but also very sweet at the same time. Good snack. Pricey snack, it's $2.97 NTD, but good snack. Was that fun? I hope that was fun. And with all that big, messy preamble out of the way, I think it's time to go inside the art museum. This place is still so impressive, no matter how many times I see it. It's a very active day, too. This is a great time for people to be outside and playing around. Not gonna lie, that whole exhibit felt a little bit existentially horrifying to me. I am extremely anti-AI. I feel like the more it's used in today's culture, the more problems it's causing. So if the intent of that exhibit was to fill you with a deep existential terror at all the different ways it can mess up your life or change how you view the world, then mission accomplished, I guess. misinterpreted what kind of museum this was going to end up being. When I saw a museum of fine arts, I thought it would be like, you know, paintings, sculptures, maybe some modern art, that sort of thing. But no, this is very active art. This is art as conversation, as commentary, as messaging. And I'm not gonna lie, a lot of it is very unsettling. Like, I have to take a moment and pause and really sink into what all this stuff is trying to tell me. Experienced one of the most haunting art exhibits I think I've ever seen. I don't really have any videos of it, sadly, because it's in a room that was so dark that it's pretty much impossible to make out anything if you're not, you know, standing there yourself. But the way it works, it's a super dark room and it's a super empty room. The only things in it are a spotlight and a mirror. And the spotlight is pointing right at that mirror with like a focused point of light. So what you do is you go in between the mirror and the spotlight. You stand looking at the mirror with the spotlight behind you, you know, coming from this way through you to the mirror. And what that does is it washes out all of your body in the light. It washes out until you can only see your silhouette. Like there's this glowing ring of deep yellow orange light all around you, specifically your face, because your head is in the right area to be hit by the spotlight. So it's shining all around your head with this glowing light that, you know, perfectly captures all your edges. But of course, since the front of your face is not in the light, the front of your face is completely dark. So the effect is you're staring at this glowing silhouette of yourself, but you yourself are not there because your face is not there. You are looking, you know, you are physically here looking, but you cannot see the version of you that exists. All you can see is the image of yourself, the edges of yourself, you know, glowing in the darkness. Am I explaining this well at all? I feel like I'm not really explaining this well. The point is, you're only able to see your glowing silhouette, not your face, and it feels like some part of you has been stripped away as you're standing there, especially with how dark it is. Because in that kind of darkness, that's the only thing you can see. You're surrounded by black, except for the glowing image of you with no face and no features. Now, I don't know what the artistic intent behind that was, but just on a pure sensory level, it filled me with a kind of dread that was genuinely unsettling. Especially since I stayed in that room for a long time, so at a certain point it started to kind of feel like I was slipping away from myself a little bit. I swear to God, I've spent this entire museum trip just having one existential crisis after another. Remember when I thought this was going to be like a nice little relaxing art museum trip? Pepperidge Farm remembers. What an absolute mindfuck of a museum this was. I came in expecting a little bit of art, I got sensory overload and existential dread instead. It's also a very video-heavy museum. Like, there are so many video-based exhibits. You cannot cross a single exhibition hall without running into at least 2 of them. I'm not the biggest fan of video exhibitions, if I'm being honest, because it always feels like you're missing something if you come in after it starts. I prefer to wander museums at my own pace. The timing requirements of video exhibits do not sit well with me, always. But hey, this was still a very fascinating museum, and it was a very good way to spend the early afternoon. Either way, I think this is a good point to end the video. I'll see you later tonight. We'll try and do one more thing if our energy permits. We really do not have much time left in this city. I want to savor every bit of it that I can. So thank you once again for joining me at Taiwan Lao Wai. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, smash the bell, share with your friends, all that good stuff. And as always, I'll see you next time. 再见. Bye-bye.